Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking episode 7 of season 2 of Star Wars Rebels called Stealth Strike. I know I'm quite back behind the times on this one. Sorry, I thought the show went on break. Turns out it didn't. So, that and combined with me being really slammed at work last week when I finally figured things out have kind of led to this situation. So, sorry guys. So anyway, this is, I would say, a pretty solid episode of the series. Um, One, it's really kind of, at its core, it's really an Ezra episode. Although there's a nice subplot going on with Rex and Kanan. But here, this episode is one of the ones where they go out and show that, despite his flaws, Ezra has really improved quite a lot, and that he is a pretty competent and formidable person. I mean, just the fact that he can say to these stormtroopers, like, "Hey guys, when I escape, I promise not to kill you or hurt you seriously," and then he does it. Yeah, this episode is really him showing Kanan, Rex, and Admiral Sato that hey, don't underestimate me. This is they do have an interesting balance with Ezra, where they do episodes like this where we show that yeah, he's a really formidable person, and then we show him being sort of the goofy teenager, the person who is still has a lot to learn, and that's always a tricky thing to try and pull off. But this episode they do one of those extremes rather well. Now there are definitely some nice nods to classic Star Wars here. I mean, sneaking through the enemy base to just destroy the super weapon. Oh, gee, how many times have we seen that in Star Wars, especially the expanded universe? It's like the Sun Crusher, and then it's like we gotta go and we gotta put down the Death Star prototype. Although, okay, those sort of did not always involve some sneaking around through the enemy base. And those like, what was it? Sun Crusher, the Death Star prototype, Dark Saber. Knights of the Republic game. We have the Star Ford. Like, ugh. Okay. So, I also really like the Admiral guy here, who just completely and utterly ignores Agent Callus's advice. It's like, man, don't take this kid lightly. Like, yeah, whatever, dude. And of course, it completely blows up in his face, and likely ends up with this guy being executed, given the nature of the Empire. So, yeah, I mean, this is again one of those situations that really kind of reminds you just why the Empire ended up falling, is just because there was so much internal bickering and infighting with each other. Not that in a lot of ways the Republic was that different, but this sort of backstabbing attitude, in some ways, was encouraged within the culture of the Imperial command. And, well, okay, maybe not backstabbing. There wasn't really backstabbing going on in this episode, but just sort of the arrogance, the idea that you shouldn't, basically the kind of the culture of not really taking other people's opinions as seriously as you should. Um, but anyway, I mean, this guy's very much from the Grand Ad. I'm sorry, the Admiral, not Thrawn. Freaking hell. Tarkin, yeah. I mean, this guy's very much from the Tarkin school. Very arrogant guy, and it ends up biting him in the end. I like that bit where he offers Rex, like, hey, why don't you turn these guys in, and we'll let you go off to a training academy, and you can wear the uniform again. Now, Rex isn't dumb enough to buy that this guy's telling him the truth at all, and come on, the Empire's never going to let somebody who had betrayed them have something like that. No way. They'd get Rex for whatever information he could, and then they'd chuck him out an airlock or something. In fact, that Admiral guy probably didn't even have the authority to offer something like that. And Rex is smart enough to have known that. Not that he ever would have taken the offer for a moment, but still. Um, Interesting that he was able to sort of shrug off that torture droid so easily, but, hey, if Princess Leia can do it, well, no, I guess that kind of sounds a little bit dismissive of Leia. I guess what I should say is that a guy who's not not a young fella being able to shrug off the torture droid like that. Now, Leia, she kind of had the advantage. She was only like 19 years old. She was in the peak of her health. So, yeah. Then again, she didn't exactly have Rex's level of physical training. Although, in all fairness, though, it was stated in the previous EU that Leia was trained, to take care of herself. And given the way that she knew how to shoot a blaster, yeah, that probably did include some somewhat formal military training, but probably not to the level of a clone trooper. So, yeah. This episode, speaking of clone troopers, a lot of this is kind of Rex and Kanan finally putting aside some of their differences and being able to say, like, okay, yeah, we're friends. And this is really more of a thing on Kanan's part. Rex has respect for Kanan as a Jedi, but maybe Kanan as a person, that's a little more iffy. Here, Kanan has to sort of say, like, look, this guy, in a lot of ways, is a symbol of the cause of me losing everything in my old life that I held dear. But he himself is not to blame for that. He is someone who has proven himself to me and my friends, and I need to acknowledge that because I've come to care about this person. So a nice bit of character growth from Kanan there. And I definitely did love how he saluted Rex at the end. It's a sort of a reminiscent of the Doctor saluting someone last year on Doctor Who in their season finale. And yeah, I kind of think that covers everything that I had to say about this episode. Really great stuff from Ezra as a character. Some nice character moments from Rex and Kanan. Definitely some nice riffing on the fact that stormtroopers can't shoot the broadside of a barn. I love how Rex is like, I can't see a thing in this helmet. It restricts my vision. He takes it off, and then he can shoot just fine. So yeah, nice stuff there. And with that said, guys, I think we're covered on this episode. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi. And I now have a new Tumblr account. I'm not using the one I used before to post my videos. I've made something completely new. So if you are on Tumblr, you can join me at Jedi Reviewer. That's two words. The two words are all stuck together on Tumblr. So I hope to see you guys there. Until next time, take care and have a good one.